Right, gentlemen, new year, let's talk about it. I want to tell you that this year, there are two things that you need to be very mindful of. The first one is pain is likely to come your way. This is the best lesson that I learned from last year. Last year, I found myself in a position where I had a tremendous amount of growth. And I can trace that all back to one particular moment at the start of the year, which was a breakup that was very uncomfortable and very unexpected. Had I gone into last year knowing actually that the best thing that could have happened to me last year or that year was going to be the most painful and the most gut-wrenching experience, I think I might have looked at that year differently in terms of my growth. So what I will tell you to start this year off with is be don't prepare yourself for this because you never can, but be receptive to the idea that you might find yourself in a cumbersome, difficult, adverse position. And if you do, it's reasonably likely to say that you will find yourself in a position where you can grow and expand as a result. I think it's all too easy at the start of a year to try and avoid difficulty or at least navigate difficulty on your own terms. You know, we might go for the hard run or start the cold shower routines or whatever it is. We might implement adversity, but we're actually quite stringent on making sure that we stick the course exactly as we would like to. Now, I think it's quite important actually to become aware of the fact that life does not go the way you anticipate it to a lot of the time. And if you can start this year with a concept of, irrespective of what happens this year, there is a guiding force within me, being one of growth and desire to improve, that means regardless of what happens, I will stay on this course. I might have to go all the way around here and back in to find my way to where it is that I'm looking to go. But I have a ruling principle here that I will do the right thing and I will get where I want to go. And on the way, I might find myself in some hard positions. Number two, it is all too easy to go straight into the deep end when it comes to the self-improvement, New Year's resolution. I mean, New Year's resolution is like self-improvement, red pill before it existed. Everyone knows about the New Year's resolutions, and everyone namely knows about how people don't stick to them and don't stick to their word and what it is they say they do. I think it's all too easy for people to come into the new year, hype the fuck up because they go, yeah, new year, new me. I'm really gonna do it this year. All the other aphorisms and sayings that we go through and say to ourselves, it's all too easy to just swarm yourself with these ideas of what it is that you need to do, who it is that you need to be, and where it is that you need to go. Excuse me. I would urge you strongly to choose one relatively simple thing that is unanimous in its growth and its positivity on your life. Sorry. It is too easy at the start of the year to go, right, I want to put meditation in, I want to do journal, I want to do cold shower, I want to do making the bed, I want to exercise every day, I want to read a book every day, I want to do this, do that, do this, do that. It gets so congested, and I think it's very easy to forget that actually even the simplest of habits, even something as simple or easy as something like meditation, requires a level of effort and a level of commitment to do. It's why no one or most people aren't stoic, virtuous monks sitting on hills, is because a lot of us can't dedicate the time to do something like meditate. And once you start compiling these things together and you've got 15 minutes meditating, you've got an extra half an hour earlier waking up in which you do something difficult that makes it harder to get out of bed, like a cold shower, making your bed in itself, reading, and all the other aforementioned habits, you can start really adding quite a few hours of activity into your day. And before you know it, you're suffocating, you're swarmed. So I think at the start of the year, you want to work in sort of block formation. Now, what I mean by this is start the year with one particular thing that you would like to do, and have in mind however many things at the start of the year you might go, right, I want to get all of these things sorted out. I know I need to lose weight. I know I need to read more books, whatever. Have, say, well, we got 12 months in the year, so doing a bit of maths, you could do 4. Oh, that's fucking retarded, isn't it? No, you could have first 4 months one thing, first, or no, let's, I don't know why I'm making this so difficult. Let's do 6 things, and you spend 2 months on each of them. It's generally recognised that it takes just about a month for a habit to become ingrained. So if you say, for argument's sake, that you spend 2 months on one thing, and you really get that comfortable as a portion of your life before you consider adding another thing, I think that's a really helpful thing to do. And the best part about this is it's very easy and it's very simple. If you think, say for example, the 6 things that you would like to put into your routine are cold shower, make your bed, meditate in the morning, read 5 pages in the day, go for a run 3 times a week, and listen to a podcast every 2 days. Just for example. All of those things are things you can do contingently. So by the end of this plan, you can bring these things together. You can put these ingredients together. And it also does it in a way that doesn't make you look forward into the year and think, fuck me, I've got so much work in front of me. This is the thing that people can get deterred with so easily at the start of a year is, oh my God, look how much I have to do. Look how much there is in front of me. Look how much I have to get through before I get to where I want to go. It's the primary reason as to why people find themselves falling off the back end of a diet or just simply not sticking to routine, because it's too intimidating to look forward and go, wow, I'm going to have to do this for an entire year. Because I will tell you something, that when you get into consistent habits or new habits that are challenging to some extent, they take a while to become second nature. But I can tell you, as someone who has a number of these habits and has done for quite a while now, they do become very simple to do. There's still the difficulty behind them, but you kind of just recognise that, okay, this is what we do. This is part of my day. It's actually more jarring for me not to do it. And what you want to do is you don't want to slow that process. You want to be able to get yourself to that place in quick time and go, okay, I'm good. I'm comfortable in doing what I'm doing, and I can continue doing this. You don't want to get burnt out by the end of the year, and that's the thing. It's very important to keep one eye in front of you on what it is that you're doing, and one eye just slightly aware of the fact that there is tomorrow. This was something I was speaking to myself about earlier today. I went out on a run this morning and I could feel a niggle in my ankle, and I had set myself a goal. I had exceeded such goal or said goal, and there was, in my head I was going, oh, you could do a little, you could run that way and do a little bit more. And I said to myself, you have to be careful not to, you want to perform today and tomorrow. You don't want to just perform today. And that is an important principle to keep in mind for this year. It's far too easy to get into these cycles of starting things and finishing things because you just don't plan ahead enough. And the problem with what it is that I've just said there, that a lot of people say, is that you feel like you need to plan ahead. You feel like you need this perfectly clear, made out exactly the way it should be, step by step, simple plan to follow. And it's just not the case. I can tell you for a fact, I have never ever once sat down and said, I'm going to be here in January, here in March, here in, I've never ever done that. But that's not to say I haven't still found myself with a plethora of positive habits and achievements as a result. I think that's, to be honest, I think that's all I really want to get into with this video. I don't want to, the whole principle of this video is I don't want people to feel like there's so much work in front of them and there's so much for them to do when there's really not. So what I would advise you to take away from this video is to start this year at 40, 50, 60%. Between 40 and 60% of your effort. Maybe, say 40% to start. Because you want to be able to go through the year. It's far more improving and positive on all fronts to be someone who is doing I like to use push-ups as an example because it makes sense in my small monkey brain. If someone can do 15 push-ups every single day for 365 days, they're going to do more push-ups than someone who can do 40 push-ups every 7 days because their arms are just going to hurt too much. You know, or even every 4 days. Consistency is far more important, and it's all too easy to get warped in your head with this, that you need to be consistently overperforming as well. Trust me on this. I understand people that can't get this because I can't get this a lot of the time. But if you can do one thing every single day this year, you will seriously improve. You know, on all fronts. I trust myself and I urge you to trust me when I say this. If you do one thing this year, all year, you will see a significant improvement in yourself, in your psyche, in the way that you look at the world. It will be a generalized improvement. It might not be a turn, flip the table, wow, look at the difference. But there will be a real, I've certainly got more discipline than I had this time last year. I'm certainly smarter than I was this time last year. So, gradually increasing, but maintaining a steady pace. Don't blow yourself out. Consistency across the year. Recognize if adversity or difficulty or hardship, whatever you would like to call it, comes your way, that it often presents a unique opportunity to make this year something you are really proud of. I will stand firm to say that I experienced a tremendous amount of pain last year, but I also do not recognise myself from who is speaking to you now 365 days back. There is a significant difference, and it is certainly for the positive. And I do think in myself, fundamentally, that had you taken that comfort that I was afforded as a result of being in a cushy relationship away from me, that the growth certainly would have been stunted. So I urge you, if you encounter a breakup this year, or someone wrongs you in some way, or something difficult happens to you, or you find yourself in a hard position, to understand that growth is certainly possible from this position. But equally well, I would like it to be known that you temper this with a consistency. This is the thing that I'm trying to say today in today's video, is you might find yourself in a hard position where you just can't get up to 60% or 80% of your work. But if you're doing 20, then that's great. Maintain a level of consistency despite what happens this year, regardless of what happens this year. You want to pair consistency with the expectance and acceptance of adversity. And with that, I'm going to go. I hope you all have a lovely New Year's Day, and I will speak to you all soon.